Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Aligned Plans. I'm so glad that you are here. So in today's video, we're going to be chatting about some of the basic things that I think is absolutely essential before you set up your 2022 setup and how we can kind of close off the year appropriately before we kind of move into like the brand new setup, a brand new year, all of that good stuff. And I thought that this would be really fitting for this time of year because there's just a lot of hustle and bustle and a lot of preparation, especially with the Black Friday sales and all of that. And I thought that we should actually just take a moment, kind of honor where we're at, honor December, honor the fact that we are kind of closing up a chapter of the year, really. We're closing up a chapter of our lives. So I kind of wanted to kind of give you guys some basic tips that you can use before you move into your brand new setup. And this is ideal whether you have your setup done already for the next year or not. It kind of doesn't matter, but you can always kind of go back and make adjustments. But I thought that we would just kind of go through at least 3 different things that I think is absolutely essential before we kind of close out the year. So let's dive right in. And of course, if you are brand new here, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me today again. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so glad that you are here. Consider subscribing if you have not yet already. We chat at least 1 to 2 times a week on this channel, and we talk about anything and everything minimalist planning. We dive into some tips and basic ideas of how you can kind of use this beautiful tool in the most intentional way. So let's dive right into the video. So first of all, I think that one of the number one things that we should do before we even begin to kind of pull in anything new, I always kind of like to just kind of go through my planner and take a look and see sort of what I need to remove. Okay, because sometimes I have, just random inserts. Like this one is a mindfulness one, so I don't want to throw this out. I definitely think that this is part of my mindfulness practice, so I kind of like to keep that in. And in anything and everything that just kind of feels extra, I kind of want to remove it almost immediately. First, I like to kind of go through the pockets at the front and at the back. So obviously I have quite a few inserts here. Any stickies that are just not relevant right now, I always like to just kind of remove them. I generally also remove all of these cards as well, all of the journal cards, only because I will likely change them, So it's almost like just starting with a fresh, clean slate is always very, very important to me. Anything finance related, well, let's go from this side. And I mean, right now, like, as you can tell, like, it's not a really thick, I don't have a ton of inserts here. And I try to be very intentional about it because I don't want like this really thick, bulky setup when it becomes actually a lot more overwhelming. So like we're just keep on adding and adding and adding, and then I'm no longer really clear about what the point is. You know what I mean? Same thing with dashboards, and I will tell you why. So especially if I have like 2 dashboards here and like they're not really, I'm either going to just leave one in, the one that is more recent, and then I just kind of set the other one aside, and I'll show you what I usually do with it. I have stuff from like November. We're going to remove November because it's no longer relevant. I'll keep December in only because I want to keep it as reference. Plus we're also in December right now, so the December setup, I kind of want to keep it for the remainder of the month. Perfect. Then moving on to the next section, especially if I don't have anything here, then I want to kind of get rid of it. Isn't that bad? Mind you, keep in mind, like I'm a huge purger. I only want to keep relevant information in my planner that I actually need or that I actually want to keep track of. I'm going to actually keep these here. This is not relevant anymore. Part of mindfulness practice. I like to keep these inserts that says I like the mental download ones I really like, journaling ones I really love, because they're easy spot where you can kind of make notes and things like that. So once you're kind of done sort of going through the whole thing and you've removed what you needed to remove, then I like to kind of address the dashboards. Are they still working for me? Are they not? And if they are not, I immediately remove them because I want to start fresh. Same thing with this finance update. I think at this point we're pretty much done with it. For the time being, I'm going to keep it in here at least until the end of the month because I am still using it. But I know that this is absolutely coming out. So once I'm done with all of that, then we can kind of address the pockets. I actually just set this up the other day, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. But then now we can, I feel like, okay, you kind of stripped it down to its bare bones. One thing I think is very important is to kind of reflect and kind of take a look at what you removed, why you removed it, what is absolutely working for you. So I already know that these tabs are working, but I will likely adjust where they are. So the one that says project, I already know I want to remove this because it's not set up the way I want. So here we go. We can put this guy back. So we kind of make like minor adjustments at the time for the time being, but it's very important to kind of see, okay, what is working, what is really not working. Almost like take a look and just kind of reflect for just a moment. See, like this is already working a lot better for me. And then here we can put this one back. So already looking a million times better, even though it's not perfect, but that's okay. I can kind of live with that. The other thing is that anything new, so I have started to receive some of my new stuff. So I already have a couple of journal cards, which I'm just going to set aside. Right now, I'm not doing like the full 2022 setup. For now, I'm just I wanted to kind of at least adjust like the couple of things that I do that I think is absolutely essential. I also have, and you can get this from IKEA, I have this box. I know it's hefty. But basically here I have every single insert that I've ever received, and I like to also kind of keep track of and put back. Remember I showed you in one of my previous videos that I like to keep these the packaging, usually because I put them back where they were. So I generally go through this and just see, okay, so if I have things like just grit paper, I will absolutely put it back. And I love how these two kind of work together. So I already know, okay, as I'm going through this, set this aside, you will use that. No, you don't need that. So just kind of review like what's happening. I also have most of my journal cards here that I kind of keep track of and just see what I would like January to feel like, even though I know that we're also going to be receiving the sub box from Cloth and Paper, but I also don't really always want to kind of rely on whatever comes in the sub box, and that's sort of what ends up in my planner. I want to be a little bit more intentional about that. I also love this morning mindset, and I know that January is going to be one of those focuses for me where I really want to create like a really solid morning routine. And so that's it for journal cards. I have like all of the dashboards, and I kind of like to kind of look through them, see which ones I'm still gravitated towards, and then start layering them up that way. So once I've done that, then we can kind of start putting it back in. So like, I know I want this for sure. And then anything like this where we have more of what I already have inside, so this is the mental download one, I will leave it out. And even though I might not be setting it up right this very moment, or I might not be adjusting it exactly the way I want, this will change only because I don't have all of the inserts for the next year that has arrived. But I do have a couple of things that I already set aside, so I just thought I would show you guys. So I already set aside resilience, and I already set aside resolute, which I know I want that to be part of my setup. But then the other thing that we can also kind of start setting aside is actually any of the accessories. right? So I know that like probably my colors will go along like this gray taupey situation. So I can also look for like, okay, what else do I need that, and what else would I like to kind of keep track of? So I wanted to start using this mood tracker. Let's see if I can remove it. So I know I want to kind of insert that somewhere in my planner. And I think that I will use both this and this. That's just right off the hop. So once you kind of get all of your colors situated, this becomes so much easier when it comes to actually setting up the planner, because then you're not sitting there trying to figure out your colors. You're trying to figure out the direction of where you want certain things to go. You literally just have to plug it in and then you're good to go for January. The other thing that I would also recommend that I think is a great idea is if you have something like this journal insert. Let me see if I can find it, because I know I have it in here. If you have journal inserts, use them. If you have, see, like if you have any of these mindfulness inserts, use them. This would be like a really beautiful way to not only reflect on your year. So what was kind of working, what was something that you learned, what were like the major themes. Use it almost like part of that reflection process. You know, it's very important that you're not just kind of constantly swapping products out of your planner, but you're really using them in a truly intentional way, which I think partially has a lot more to do with, you know, what are you keeping track of, what's important to you, but also how did the year really end for you. And you will look back one day on all of these inserts and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I was doing this during a global pandemic. I'm just saying. This is all I have for you. And then once you're kind of ready, then you can kind of plug everything back in. And like I said, in a separate video, if you guys want to see a setup, let me know in the comments and I'm happy to film that for you. I just didn't want to make this video super long. So this is all I have for you. I hope that you have found this helpful, useful, and informative. And if you did, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already. And just keep planning, you guys. And I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.